Backpacker coming to you live from Shreveport, Louisiana. But that's just me. We've got a guy spread out all over the place. We've got a few guys out there at Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Tyler, of course, joining us from, Tyler, where you at? Not Albany or Albany? I always forget if you're not in Albany. Albany, Louisiana.
Yeah.
And we've got with us tonight Craig Stormy Storms coming us from Lake Erie, Canada, Michigan.
No, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Okay, we're close. We're close. We're close. So, we got a loaded show tonight. We got a lot of great things to talk about. The fishing is really starting to heat up. So Craig's on to talk to us tonight about Dakota Lithium Batteries. Brock Miller is going to be on from the Backpacker. Obviously, everybody knows Brock. He's been on a bunch of times talking to us about some new Hobie products coming out, the 2020 line of kayaks, Outbacks, Pro Anglers, 360, breakaway fins. Man, so many great things coming out. Stacey, tournament director, coming on from Bayou Coast to talk to us a little bit about the Falling Tide tournament. Certainly, we're going to do a couple of special episodes about that, but registration is going to be going up soon, and Eric is out here to promote that tournament. It's going to be a really good time. So before we get to everything, we're going to jump to Craig here in a few minutes, but I know everybody likes to hear my fishing reports. Unfortunately, I have been out fishing actually the last two weeks in a row. So as it starts, I'd like to say cooling down, but it's been really hot lately. But well, we do what we can do, and got to go on Labor Day. Me and Super Mario, Dan Robdell, we actually hooked up. We went out fishing, and we were doing a little scouting for Rumble on the River, a little scouting for Fall and Tide coming up. We went down Highway 23. First time I got to fish with Dan. And if you guys are curious as to how he got the name Super Mario, it's kind of a funny story. We had a team tournament. Everybody knows Double Trouble. It was back in, I think it was April. I think it was back in April of this year. And so we had members fishing with other members and doing a group thing. We had to stick together. And I don't know how Dan got the idea, but it was his understanding that we all had to dress up for the tournament. So Dan and his partner Trey Edgerson end up dressing up as the Mario Brothers. Kind of like coming to the weigh-in, they were the only ones in the costume, like they thought it was a costume party or something. But anyway, Dan's a real good guy. We had a great time fishing. I know we took some pictures. We got started out a little slow. We went in the marsh and kind of poked around a little bit. Actually, Dan caught the first two fish. I had a kind of a feeling I was about to get skunked. We started moving back a little bit into the marsh a little bit. Got into some skinny ponds, about a foot, maybe a foot and a half of water, and it really started turning on about 8 o'clock in the morning. Most of the fish were caught on the Johnson Gold Spoon weedless. I was using a 1/4 ounce spoon, and I think Dan was using the 1/2 ounce spoon. So what we were doing was we were fishing these pockets of water. We were looking for these little coves. The tide really wasn't moving. The fish weren't moving at all. We really didn't see any like pounding bait against the shoreline. Didn't really see any action of the redfish cruising. A lot of times when you get in that skinny water, the benefit is you can see these reds in that real skinny water cruising along, and they just weren't doing that. But we kept throwing spoons, and I tell you what, through about 11 o'clock, I think we had close to 16 redfish between the two of us. Some good-sized reds, some nice slots. We did catch a couple of small reds, but most of them went from probably 20 to 27 inches. I had two that went just over 26, that perfect slot right between 26 and 27. So I felt pretty good about that. And they were bronze. You know, Tyler, I know you fish Delacroix and Reggio a lot. When you see those redfish come out of that water and they have that real bright bronze look to them, they're just really, really pretty.
Yeah. I don't know. I still don't really understand what causes that, the different colorations, but there's some pretty fish, especially around Delacroix and all that grass.
Yeah. We saw some grass out there. One of the benefits of fishing down Highway 23 is that you can find sections of grass, but you're really not fighting through the grass like you will in Delacroix, where you're having to pull up that drive and paddle a lot. Now, one of the drawbacks is you're not going to have as clean of water. Probably the prettiest water we saw maybe had 8 to 10 inches of visibility. And certainly you'd like it a little bit cleaner than that, but it was certainly clean enough for the redfish to see that spoon. And with that sun being out and really reflecting well off that gold spoon, we were really able to catch some nice fish that day. No trout yet, and no flounder or anything. But again, a lot of nice redfish out there. I did talk to some people afterwards. This is the second time I've been down 23 in the last 2 weeks. And same thing I noticed. The redfish weren't moving. They were all just sitting idle against the shoreline. You almost kind of had to hit them in the head with the spoon and get kind of a reactionary bite out of them. And what I was told was essentially that there's so much shrimp in the marsh right now, and you can see the shrimp popping around, that the redfish are just full. They're just sitting back. They've eaten all day or in the morning, and they're just sitting back. And basically what we're getting are the reactionary strikes. They're not really cruising for food anymore. What I'm being told is that once we get that first good north wind in, colder weather, it starts pushing that shrimp out of the marsh, then those redfish are really going to start heating up. They're going to start cruising more, looking for bait. So that's a good sign. I mean, I know we had the fish we caught were all pretty fat. You could tell they've been feeding real well. And come a month from now, 3 weeks, I think Rumble on the River is 3 weeks, Tyler?
Yep, 28.
Yeah, about 3 weeks away. I think we're going to have some really nice redfish being caught, at least down 23. Certainly, we have the option of fishing down St. Bernard Parish, Delacroix, Reggio, Hopedale. All of those places hold some really good fish. So, got a lot of opportunity to go out there and scout and try to find where you want to fish and see if you can find those two redfish that'll hopefully put you in the top 5 or 6 to get in the money. Last week, I had the opportunity this past weekend, actually, to go down to Pensacola and fish with another one of our club sponsors, Emerald Coast Kayak Fishing, Brandon Barton. And with him, we had 4 of us going out. And I had Matthew Van was out there. Matthew also runs a kayak charter. I think it's Sails and Tails, Tyler. I think it's Sails and Tails.
Sails and Tails.
So there's 4 of us. And we just had a phenomenal trip. It was really nice. The troll bite was a little slow. There was bait everywhere. You could drop a sabiki down almost anywhere along the beach, half a mile off the beach, and you were pulling up bait every time. We were catching hardtails and squirrel fish. I don't know, these little squirrel fish baits and even some little small Spanish mackerel were hitting those sabikis. So we loaded up with bait, trolled for about an hour, and the troll bite was a little slow. I did end up catching a Spanish or 2, small Spanish mackerel. My friend Quinn caught a 20-pound king, which was real nice. It was a real good fight. I actually saw him trolling, and his rod was just out the kayak, was just bent over, and I started yelling at him because he had it in the holder, and he turns around, and he sees it, and he fights it, and it was a really good fight. He's got some really nice fish out there. So we ended up switching over to a reef about 1.5 miles offshore. And because the troll bite was slow, and ended up going after some red snapper. So even though it wasn't seasoned, we dropped down with some dead bait we had, and just see if we could pull up some red snapper. And let me tell you, they were everywhere, thick. Brandon was showing me what they looked like on the sonar, how they were showing up as far as the sights, and all you saw were these lines going all across the Lawrence. And I said, was that bait? Because that looks like bait. It was so thick. He said, no, that's snapper. So we started dropping down, and they're chumming up the fish. We would get down 30, 40 feet before that bait had even hit the bottom. They were hitting the line. I mean, it was a bite. We'd get on the reef area. It was a bite every time you drop down right there. So there was 4 of us fishing. Brandon and Matthew did a great job. I mean, they didn't fish at all. They stuck with us. They'd stick right by your side, especially when you hooked up. Want to make sure nobody flipped over. Just because, you get on these fish, you need to crank down on them hard to keep them from going into the reef. We probably had, 10 to 12 snapper we caught between the 4 of us, all good size, 10 to 15 pound snapper. Safely released them all. It was a really good trip. We were in by 11 and had a great time. But got to come back in, eat lunch, drink some beer. Obviously, I was drinking some wine, and we got to watch the LSU Tigers beat Texas. I mean, that was a great game there. And then we had another good game last night with the Saints pulling off that last-minute field goal in the final seconds to beat the Texans. So it was a good weekend. I mean, it was a good weekend. I know, Tyler, I know you were going to go fishing this weekend, but ended up having to, I think, go to work for a little while.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had to work Saturday morning. I had plans to go fishing, and unfortunately, the boss had other plans for me. So.
Yeah, it happens. And I know Eric's out there. I know Eric started his own business. He's doing real well. PPM does some AC work, fixed my AC, did a great job on that. I know you've been really tied up last few days, taking care of your business and doing that. Being self-employed stuff, isn't it, buddy?
It's fun, but it's it's fun and tough at the same time. But life's good.
So Brock, what about you? Did you get to do any fishing the last 2 weeks?
I snuck off after class last Wednesday and did a little looking around.
Yeah,
Hopedale, Grand Isle area. You could say that.
Hopedale, those they're not even close to each other. So was it Hopedale or was it Grand Isle?
We don't have to go into.
We don't have to go. Okay, all right. I understand. Brock's real big on secrets over here. So, but I can always tell his pictures. He always takes a picture and doesn't think any of us recognize where he's at.
Yeah, right.
So look, let's go over now. I want to talk to Craig, Stormy Storms. Craig, how you doing tonight, man?
Good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing great. Now you are in that's not a hotel room.
No, I'm in my tent here in a campground on Lake Erie, pre-fishing for the Northeast Regionals Championship this weekend.
I gotta ask you because it's hot as hell down here. How's the weather over there?
It's about 50 degrees right now.
Oh, you killing me.
50 degrees.
That would be nice.
50 degrees.
Last night I had to turn the heat on for a little while.
Oh, you're killing me.
Killing me.
He's in a tent, Eric. I see you're out there sweating and probably got mosquitoes on you. This guy's in a tent. 50 degrees. So you're in Lake. What are you doing in Lake Erie? I mean, that's 50-degree weather. What's going on in Lake Erie right now?
Well, the KBF is having their Dakota Lithium sponsored the Northeast Region Series this year for KBF. So, and I'm also competing in the tournaments. So I'm doing a double duty with that, and it's just been a blast. And this weekend is our regional finals on Lake Erie.
So for people who don't know, KBF is kayak bass fishing?
Correct.
Yeah. And so Dakota Lithium is one of the sponsors for KBF. You said for the Northeast region.
Yes, correct.
So what kind of tournament series is that that y'all have over there?
Oh, it's growing. This whole industry between Salt Life and the KBF, the Hobie series now, FLW joined the party this year. So I mean, we're just growing this sport. It's so cool that we're all in a position to guide and lead this forward, and grow it as big as we can. Yeah,
it really is. And the great thing about it is that people can get in cheap. You don't have to have a $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 boat with a tower and twin engines and twin this and that, to get in. And I had this conversation with somebody earlier today, and I said, look, we're getting older, and we can't play competitive sports. We can't play football or basketball or baseball. Exactly. But a lot of us we have that competitive drive in us, and it's not about money, and it's not about getting on TV and being famous or anything. It's just going out there and fishing against some of these guys, mano a mano, and saying, hey, I know that guy. He's a great fisherman. Today I beat him. It's a good feeling.
Dude, you hit it on the head, man. Because I'm 56. It takes everything I got to do what I do out there with these guys, and it's just I'm an old jock, baseball, football, and I got into the first FLW event, and when I competed in that just turned on every competitive cell in my body again, and I haven't fished bass in 10 years, trying to catch a bass, you know what I mean? And it's just been, I've been totally immersed in this for the last 6-7 months now. And it's just been a ride, man. It's been great. It really has.
And that's fantastic. And when you can sponsor the event and fish in it, it probably doesn't get much better than that.
No, man. Man. Like I said to you before, I pinch myself every morning and say, please don't let me mess it up, man. Please.
I tell you, if I was waking up in 50-degree weather, I'd probably be pinching myself every morning right about now. So what kind of
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
as far as the tournament, what's the format over there? Is it's a bass tournament?
Yeah, it's a largemouth, smallmouth bass on Lake Erie, 2-day event. It's a best of 5. We use Tourney X. So it's the same procedure you guys use mostly, I would say. And except we're fishing for greenfish, bass.
That's nice.
And the thing this year is that between the Hobie Opens, the KFBs, KBFs, I've been hitting bucket list lakes all year long. I mean, I was up on Lake St. Clair up in Michigan this summer. I mean, that was an experience that you can't even imagine unless you were there, because I mean, if it was a weather event, by the time 1 o'clock rolled around, you had 5-6 foot rollers from the boat traffic. It was that crazy. It was intense. I mean, they had at like 11 o'clock in the morning, someone flipped the switch, and you had 4 boats coming at you that were bigger than my house, and they were just coming, and the wakes were just, just like 5 footers. It was wild. It really was. But what an experience that lake was. And I mean, we were down in Hot Springs with the FLW Cup. We ran a tournament in conjunction with FLW for the Forestwood Cup. So it was very, very cool event down there in Hot Springs.
So you fished today?
Yeah, I fished today. I fished about 5-6 hours today.
How'd you do?
I didn't even pick up a rod. All I did was just drive around and look for boulders on the bottom of Lake Erie and put a waypoint by them.
So this wasn't a tournament day then?
No. This is a pre-fish day.
Oh, when's the tournament start?
Friday.
Oh, jeez. Was today Tuesday? Yeah, man, he's like the older version of Brock Miller, getting out there like 4 days early and scouting and skipping stuff.
I got lucky this.
So look, man, we've got you. I tell you what, and I see AJ McWhorter and Christine Fisher, and I see Christine fishing all the time. And I started following her recently on Facebook, and to see what she's doing and just following their adventures, really going to all these lakes and fantastic places. I said, oh my God, if I could have done my life over one more time, it started in my 20s. And it's hard to do it now when you've got a family and all that stuff. But in your 20s, to take a year off or two to do something like that, what an incredible adventure they're having.
Yes. So, AJ and Christine is just lighting it up. I mean,
she is.
What she has accomplished this year between the Hobie Opens and the KBFs, it's just magnificent. It really is. I mean, she hasn't just broken the glass ceiling; she shattered it, man. And I think the kayak is the great equalizer.
And we hope to have her on soon. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, she's done a great job, and she gets out there. And, if any of our people out there are looking at it, go take a look at on Facebook, Christine Fisher. Check her out. The tournaments that she's won, the fishing. She's got some great pictures on there. I just enjoy following her and watching the adventures of the places that she's fishing and things like that. And, great fisherman. Fisher person, I should say, and really looking forward to having her on our show here soon. Is a new sponsor of the club this year, and I know Tyler raves about the batteries all the time. He says, "Man, we got to get in touch with Dakota Lithium. The batteries are great, and this and that." So I said, "Absolutely." And y'all were kind enough to donate the batteries for our big tournaments this year. For a lot of the money that the club takes in to sponsor a lot of the events we do from raffles. And the raffles we do at our 2 big tournaments a year, Paddle Blues and Fallen Tide. We have generous sponsors like Dakota Lithium, Brock with Backpacker. They are very generous sponsors. Some other sponsors that we'll talk about. They provide the products. we have some really great members who will donate just a crap load of money, $100, $200 in the hopes of winning a $3 bait, like myself and Eric Stacey. I know we were both pretty generous with our money after we've been up since 4 a.m. and drinking since 5 in the afternoon. That goes back with the club takes. We go back and we put it into worthy events and to really kind of promote the sport of kayak fishing. So this year we were lucky enough to get Dakota Lithium on board. And what I'd like for you is Craig, is tell us a little bit about Dakota Lithium Batteries, if you could.
Okay. Dakota Lithium Batteries is a company that is headquartered out in Seattle, and our factory is in Grand Forks, North Dakota. So our batteries are as American made as allowed by law. So there's certain things that we're not allowed to do here in this country that are done overseas and then brought here and assembled. We are probably the only lithium manufacturer that's still left in the United States. There's very few left. And that's all we do is manufacture batteries, lithium batteries. It started with the e-bikes, and then they developed the 7 amp hour and the 10 amp hour. And now we've grown to the 23, the 54, and the granddaddy of them all, the 100 and the 170.
Wow.
So our product line has grown in 2 years.
Just out of curiosity, what's the size of the 170 that we're talking about? Is it a big battery? Yeah, I mean, is it like physically?
It's 44 pounds. And
okay, so it has
it has the energy of 3 deep cell SLAs.
And that's going to be considerably lighter than 3 big D cells.
Yes,
those big guys.
Considerably, yes.
So for people that kayak fish, we're running, Lowrance systems. Some of the guys have the power poles. I know some guys run lights and stuff on it.
Right.
What type of battery is typically going to be used in regards to kayak fishing?
Well, see, here's the thing of it is that the new normal. Now we've had a learning curve. From when we first came out 2 years ago, we got killed we got slaughtered on social media. $100 battery, 100, oh my gosh, we got killed, but the learning curve has happened. The 10 amp hour, I would call the new normal in the industry to run screens from 7 inches and below. Now, for the guys who are running 7, 9s, 10s, and 12s, we just put out the 23 amp hour. So that's really become the new normal for the guys with the larger screens.
Tyler, and you were just showing us the 10 amp hour battery on the screen. So if you could put that up there again real quick so we can look at it. And Tyler, how heavy is that? I mean, I know I've felt it. It's extremely light, isn't it?
Yeah, it's noticeably lighter than the standard lead deer feeder battery that you'd find in Walmart. I mean, it's a quality product. You're going to get more runtime out of it, and it's significantly less weight.
And Craig, the
2.5 pounds.
2.5 pounds. Craig, the 23-hour battery that you've got now, is that the same size as the 10, or is it bigger?
No, it's if you could picture 2 10s stacked up on top of each other.
Okay.
So it's taller, but it kept the same width. We kept the same width.
And what is the price point on that particular battery?
I believe $190 is the price point for that.
Okay. And it'll last roughly 23 hours?
No. It all depends on your unit.
I'm battery stupid, so I buy what looks pretty or what Brock sells me. He says, "Hey, this is what you want to buy."
Well, if you look at the new Lowrance stuff, all that, the live scope has escalated to the 23 amp hour, so that even with the 10 amp hour, our Lowrance Pros, we're only getting 5.5 hour runtime on the 10 amp hour.
Okay.
So that's why we had to develop the 23 to handle the higher usage.
And so with the 23, what about how long do you anticipate that running? With type of bigger,
Different
lower
models, I would say you get 12, 14 hours on the live scope, and you would get anything else. You would get days.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Now all these batteries are certainly they're rechargeable, correct?
Correct. You get 2,000 recharge cycles.
Okay. So 2,000 recharge cycles. Approximately how many years is that? I guess it depends on
how much you fish and how much you use the battery.
I guess, yeah. I mean,
Tyler,
I'm thinking, shit, that could last
come on. How?
If you fish every day, it could last you 5 years, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Just about.
Wow. So when you put in the grand scheme of things, you think $190, but I mean, hell, you got a battery lasting you 5 or 6 years. That's a pretty good investment.
Well, yes, but it's not only a pretty good investment; it's a necessity now.
Yeah.
You know, if you're paying $1,200 for a unit or more, you know, a $200 battery is not, you know, in the scope of things, you know, it's a necessity now. You know?
It is. And I tell you, there's nothing more aggravating when you're fishing, you know, especially in tournaments and your battery's going dead after an hour or two. I mean, I know before I switched over to lithium batteries that I'd go out there and, you know, you start having issues with your battery and you're way up in the marsh and all of a sudden you're relying on that GPS and it goes out. And I mean, you're basically pulling up your cell phone, hoping, you know, your cell phone's got a good, signal so you can, you can find your way out of the marsh.
Well, what really took off in conjunction with our 10 amp hour battery, we followed the 10 amp hour battery up with our 10 amp hour power box. And that, for you guys, has really taken off big time. Can you see me? Did I lose you? Oh, there we go.
We got you.
All right. I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Tyler was showing us the power box earlier. And Tyler, if you could put it back on the screen real quick so we can get a real good shot of it. Craig, if you could tell us a little bit about the power box and how it works.
Well, the power box is powered by our 10 amp hour battery. It comes with a 12 volt cigarette type plug. It comes with 2 USB ports, 2 LED flashlights on the side of it. What else does it have? Oh, 2 powered posts. So you, in any scenario, you need power to charge your phone, your GoPro, your unit. You have that power, and that whole unit only weighs, I think, 3.2 pounds. Wow. So you can even take it in the tree stand with you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I see pictures of people hanging out on the beach where they're sitting in the sand and they're charging their phone, playing music on a Bluetooth speaker, or just, you can just take it and use it for all kinds of different things.
I mean, multi-purpose. I mean, you put your battery in there, you put your lithium battery in there, and that's what runs the power box, basically.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. And then you can use that basically wherever you want to go. I mean, it's not just for kayak fishing. You can use it if you're on the beach, by the pool, in a tent, maybe on Lake Erie, Pennsylvania.
Well, you know which one I have here? Ow. Hold on a second. We got the Power Box 40 in the tent, brothers.
And what is that?
This is our the boys in Seattle really went to work on this one, and I hope you can see it well enough.
Yeah.
I got some pictures I can put up of it a little better too.
That's got, and with the 40 amp hour, you can charge your laptop 11 times.
Wow.
So you can be gone for a week, or more, and you can charge your laptop 11 times. Now, the beauty of all of our batteries is that our power management boards that are built inside of it that control the energy input and output are all solar capable. So our 50 watt solar panel that we sell can charge our 10 amp hour battery from dead to full in 3.5 hours. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
you know,
so you finish fishing for the day, and if you're out in the tent and don't have the ability to connect it to some kind of electricity, you basically put out your solar panel, charge up your batteries, and you're good to go by the next day.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's
Absolutely.
nice. That's nice.
That's how far we've come, man. It's happening quick. The
Yeah.
lithium revolution is happening quick. You know, it really is.
That's great.
And the beauty is that what we all have to understand is, one thing I want to point out is that the chemistry, all lithiums are not the same, you know, and that's what we have to, that's the next story we have to tell as a company, is that our chemistry, the LiPo4 chemistry, is not the burning lithium. It's not the blow up lithium. It's not the catch on fire lithium. It's not, if water gets on it, it's going to blow up. All that is all 20 years old. You know, that's not even relevant anymore.
Yeah, that's all China stuff. This is America, right? This is American made.
It's, you know, it's as American made as it can be, but it's just the chemistry that is different, and that's what makes it safe. That's what makes it stable. That's what gives you the 2,000 recharge cycles, and that's what gives you the lightweight of it.
Man, that sounds great. I'm gonna definitely get me one of those power boxes. I think, Tyler. We got some. Are we raffling off any of those power boxes?
Yeah, that's a good thing. We got Dakota Lithium on as a sponsor this year. So for every event through the rest of the year that we're hosting, we're going to be giving some of these batteries away, including even the smaller tournaments like Rumble in the River coming up. But for Fall and Tide, yes, we do have a power box as well.
That's fantastic. I know I just had Brock hook me up one of those big Lowrance thingies, you know, that I'm still trying to figure out the buttons on it. I was able to figure out the map feature, and then I don't even know the side scan. I don't even know what I'm looking at on that thing. It just, put it down.
I've watched so many YouTubes on that, trying to figure that side scan out, dude. I tell you, all I see is yellow on the sides, man. I don't get it. You know,
I don't know. I looked at it, I see curves and stuff, and I was all excited when I went out and fished the IFA couple weeks back, couple months ago. I was like, man, I'm gonna kick everybody's ass, and I'm gonna see all the big bull reds. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I should have read the instructions. Tell you, as far as the map details on it, as far as my old Lowrance with the map card on it, it's incredible. And the detail on the touch screen, putting in waypoints, it's really, really nice. I just got to sit down and figure it out.
Do you know what unit you have?
What is it, Brock? The Elite 7 HDI?
7 Ti2.
7 Ti Pi 2 or something, yeah. The big one. No, not the 9-incher. I know. I think Josh has got the 9-incher. He probably needs the 23.
That's kind of personal, isn't it?
Huh? Yeah, well, I mean, he's probably trying to compensate for something, when you start going around buying 9-inch screens for a kayak. I don't know.
Dude, I got a 9-inch screen, so come on now. Let's see.
Well,
I don't think I'm compensating.
Look, we got another member in our group who's also 56, Todd, and they're always talking about poor Todd. You start getting older, and the screens start getting bigger.
That's it, brother.
Bigger. He does carry 8 rods on his boat too, I think. So
I do too.
You carry 8. Well, bass fishermen, they got to. It's just like it's crazy the amount of rods they carry. I only carry 6.
Well, it's just like ice fishing. It's just a convenience. You don't have to retie all the time. You know what I mean? So it's just as easy to carry an extra rod than having to retie.
I agree with you. And sometimes we get out there and we get lazy and we're like, I've caught 5 reds. I should probably retie this knot and do this and that. And you don't. And the next thing you know, it breaks off on the very next fish. And that was the fish you were waiting for all day. And you're like, you just dumbass.
I can't wait to come down and catch a big red, because when I was down at PAC this year, and I think it was February I was down there, we got blown off. One day it was pretty bad. And I caught 2 reds down there, and they were just 20 inchers, nothing big. But I'm looking forward to to catching a big bull red. That's my next goal. You know.
Have you caught a tarpon yet out of a kayak?
No.
Okay,
That's like a bucket list thing, dude. Before I die.
So bull red first,
Uh-huh.
and then next year come out and we can certainly introduce you some guys. I know Broxton had this past year. Brock, that was your first tarpon out the kayak, right?
Yep.
Yeah. How big was that? Was that tarpon?
We thought it was around 80 to 90 pounds.
It looked bigger than that. Don't sell yourself short. That thing was at least 6. That other thing was at least 100.
Now you know how Brock is photoshopping all those pictures, though. He probably
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So Craig, they around probably about June and July, the tarpons start coming off the beach in Pensacola and in that area, Navarre, and you go not even a mile offshore, and they're just rolling. I mean, you can see them rolling. And we actually did a trip in July. Me and a buddy of mine, we went out with Brandon Barton. We were talking about earlier with Emerald Coast. We hooked one, and he was 120, 125 pounds.
Wow.
And my buddy fought him for a little while. Brandon got him up in the air, jumping up the air, and handed me off the rod. So I'm the third guy on the fish, and I start cranking down on him, and getting him in. I got him up to the top. And he went down. And he broke the leader, which was 80 pound, 60, 80 pound test. But they, if you want to do something fun, and you want to catch a big fish out of a kayak, that's the next step. Because seeing those,
if you go to my outdoor page, Stormy Outdoors, you'll see a video of me catching king salmon on Lake Ontario in a kayak. That's kind of fun. You know what I mean? It's not a tarpon. It's not a tarpon. You know what I mean? But it's kind of fun. So they give you a nice sleigh ride.
It's Stormy Weather, not Stormy. Stormy Weather is your site.
Don't go there.
Yeah, not Stormy. Everybody look.
You went there.
Stormy Weather's not Stormy Daniels. It's a completely different style altogether. So we're gonna avoid that.
And his hotel Wi-Fi held up for that comment.
Yeah. Well, look, Craig, man, we it's been a great time having you on. I definitely want to have you back on. I want to hear about all these adventures and talk a little bit more about the batteries. And as I told you before we started, when you're ready to come down to Louisiana and do some fishing, you can come down for Fallen Tide for Paddlepalooza. We'll get you up on stage when we do the raffle and tell us a little bit about the products. We'll get you set up for fishing.
That's a business trip.
That's a business. Right. It's absolutely a business trip.
Business trip, right?
It absolutely is.
Bo, when you're watching this, when I send you the link, Paddlepalooza, brother, I want to go.
And you'll have some great food.
You'll have some great food, some great fishing, some great company. The thing is that we get these sponsors, and we've had some of the same sponsors for the longest. Hobie, Cabela's, Bass Pro Shops, and they continue to sponsor us because we have a big loyalty. What's that? Backpacker. Yeah. We have a really strong loyalty to our sponsors, and we continuously promote them. And to be honest with you, a lot of times it's because of the products they sell. We've been approached about, being sponsored by some other products, and we've actually turned them down just because we really don't want to sell something or to promote it if it's not a really good product. Because a lot of people come to us as officers, or will even watch this show and they'll text us, "Hey man, I'm looking for a new battery. I'm looking for a new Lawrence. I'm looking for a new kayak." And we really try to lead them in the right direction. And I know Tyler's been talking real highly about your products for a while. I know a lot of the guys use them, and they're very, very popular. So appreciate your sponsorship of the club.
And it's been an absolute pleasure working with Tyler all year. And, it's great. It's just great to see, I love it all, dude. It's just, like I said, I was down at PAC doing the salt life. I'm up here doing the bass thing. It's just, is there a better job? I don't think so.
And I know PAC's out of commission right now a little bit on their, as far as their store goes, but they are a dealer for Dakota Lithium Batteries, and I'm sure once they're back up,
they are.
That's a good point, Craig. Where can people buy your products at in Louisiana?
Tyler will put up a list after we're done in the show because I got to look that up.
Online, I'm sure.
Yeah, and
Yes.
DakotaLithium.com, right?
Yes, our site you can sell, but we would really like to push you to the retailers who are supporting us through the retail stores. So we'll get a list to Tyler, and you can add that in the show notes.
Okay, Brock, do you know if Backpacker carries the Dakota Lithium batteries?
We don't, but I'll definitely get in touch and see what we can do.
Yeah, I know, because you guys hook up a lot of accessories over there. They're always, when I go in there and I was like, Brock, I don't even want to screw with this. I don't have time, fix me up here. And he'll put in the lower end so that, they'll put in the power pole, and they'll take care. I mean, real professional jobs too. They've done a lot of it, and, hooking up with batteries like that, I think it would be a great combination over there.
Oh, okay. Because I thought he was from Backpacker Magazine. I'm like, okay, so where's the connection for the sponsorship here?
No, they have a retail store in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Lafayette, Louisiana.
Yeah,
they do. That's fantastic.
They do a lot of obviously they sell a lot of kayaks, a lot of Hobie kayaks, a lot of other kayaks, and they do a lot of outdoor stuff. Camping and skiing and things of that nature, right, Brock?
Yes, sir. We do full service travel agency as well as outfitting for any kind of trip.
Yeah,
and he's good looking. Look at the young stud.
Yeah. We keep trying to bring him into the club as an officer, but he's smart enough to stay away from this bullshit.
Yeah.
He says, "I like fishing."
Yeah.
So Craig, look, we're gonna get you back on. I want to hear. I'm gonna definitely get you. You're on Facebook, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out because I want to see your exploits over this week. I wish you good luck, Fish at Lake Erie. I hope you get on some nice bass, and definitely have you back on again. When you're ready to go, get in touch with Tyler. We'll get you down here, for Fall and Tide Paddlepalooza whenever you're ready.
Paddlepalooza's sounding good, brother. I'm telling you.
It's a great tournament.
If you're gonna make a tournament, that's the one you need to make. I mean, that's our biggest one of the year. So.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, my tripod just died on me.
So it's a lot of fun. Battery. If you want to stick around, you're more than welcome to. I know it's 10:13 over there right now. So if you need to get to bed early,
I'm gonna
whatever you want to do. That's great. But
hit the bed, brother.
Okay, man. Appreciate you coming on.
Good luck tomorrow. Appreciate you coming on.
And thanks for all the goodies you sent over for us.
Thank you.
Thank you for the support, guys. I appreciate it. I really do. Have a great night, guys.
All right, you too.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, everybody. That was Craig. Stormy still now. Brock, they've been sitting over there making notes, copious notes, thinking, how I want to live that life. What do I need to do to live that life? I'm almost in college. I could work for Hobie or Dakota Lithium and just travel the world fishing. But look, we've got these new kayaks coming out. I've been seeing some advertisements. The 2020 Hobies are almost here. Is that right?
Yep, that's true. Should be looking at having everything but the 360 series in the store by the end of the week.
Okay, so we've got certainly we talked a little bit about the new 360 kayaks that are coming out, the Hobies. Is that correct?
Yep. So they that's kind of been the highlight of the past couple of weeks in the kayak world since Paddle Sports Retailer. They came out with the 360, which I'm sure a lot of people have seen. The drive pretty similar to the 180 drive, except the fins will actually rotate 180 or 360 degrees. So I kind of relate it most to having like a trolling motor on your boat that can spin and go in any direction.
How is that operated? I know with the 180 drive, you pull the cord to flip the fins in order to go on forward and reverse. With the 360 drive, is that still same a cord, or how's that work?
So there's no cords anymore. There's actually, so on your left side where you normally have your steering handle, there's actually a handle on top of that one, and that handle will spin 360 degrees. So that handle actually controls the direction that your pedals are facing. So, and then right in front of you on your pedals, you have an arrow to see which way it's facing. So you can spin that in conjunction with the rudder, or just use it on its own and kind of use that to move around rather than just having forward and reverse.
So you literally just turn the knob if I want to go to say 11 o'clock on the dial there and start, kicking my feet a little bit, and it's going to take me to 11 o'clock, straight over there to my left.
Yeah. It'll definitely take
awesome.
a learning curve for sure. It's kind of like driving your first car. We didn't all hop in it and take off, or most people didn't. So you'll kind of have to get used to it.
Have you gotten to try it out yet?
No, I haven't yet. I'm dying to. I've talked to a couple of guys who have though.
And what's the general take on it?
Most people, as soon as they get in it, that's what they want. I know we kind of choose whichever boats we want for the next year. And I know a lot of guys who are convinced that that's going to be the one they're going to be in.
Any idea how many of the 360s y'all are going to get in?
So it's kind of up in the air right now. They're kind of trying to give each dealer what they've sold already. So we're definitely taking pre-solds. We've got plenty of them on order and reserve. So if you're interested in one, best thing to do would be to give us a call. That way we can mark you down as a pre-sold and get that boat in the store.
Great. Now, in addition to the 360, the Outback's got a new feature. The 2020 Outback's got a new feature on the Mirage Drive. Is that correct?
Yeah. So it's actually the kick-up fins, which is what you're referring to. It's going to be on all boats from the Compass up. So Compass, Revo, Outback, and as well as all the tandem boats are going to have kick-up fins on them. So basically what that is it's just like all the videos we've seen with the 360 drive. They're running over logs and running over rocks and stuff. And the fins, instead of bending, they actually break away and then rejoin once you're over that obstacle.
How, and I was trying to figure out, how does the fin know to kick back down like that? Have you seen it? Is there a mechanism or something?
I believe it's just kind of the force of the drive as you keep pedaling is what kicks it back into motion. So literally you keep pedaling the entire time and then they join back up.
That's incredible. I mean, I know how many drives I've bent just cruising down and hitting an underwater structure, obstruction that you didn't know was there. And then next thing you know, that drive's bent. And if you don't have a spare bar on you, you're kind of screwed the rest of the day, unless I always carry spare ones on me. But geez, I've spent a couple $100 probably on those bars, fishing with that. One of the things I've heard, and I don't know if you've heard anything about this, going through grass and things like that. Do you know how effective that'll be when you're pushing against grass or something like that, where you have gentle resistance? Or do you know if it's got to be some kind of force in order to kick it back? I mean, if you know, I'm not sure if you've seen anything about that yet.
Yeah, so I've actually talked to a couple of guys who have used them already, and they said that there's a knob, or I believe it might be an Allen key, that you can adjust the tension on them. So whether you're going in grass or not, we'll probably all set ours pretty stiff. That way, if we run in something solid, they'll kick up. But as we're pedaling through grass, we should be able to control whether or not it kicks up.
Okay. Now, with the older, say you've got a 1 or 2 year old Outback, is there a conversion kit if you want to try to change your Mirage drive to that, or do you basically have to get a whole new drive?
So there's not a kit right now, and there are a couple of changes to the actual spine on the drive to where it's not going to be able to swap over as easily as most people would think. So for right now, especially with the demand they're having for the 2020 kayaks in general, because of that drive, they're not going to be for sale right away, nor will there be conversion kits. But it should be in the future that we'll be able to get either conversion kits or just buy the drives outright.
And so what color 2020 did you get? No, sorry, you can't hear me. The new Outback. Did you get a new one, the 2020?
No, I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna go with the Outback. I think I'm gonna give the PA 360 a try.
You're going big boy.
Yep.
12 or 14?
Probably going 14. A little bit more speed with the 14.
It's faster than the 12.
It is, yeah. If you look at the front, the bow is a little more gradual. And then if you look at the front of the 12, it's kind of blunt, so it pushes more water rather than gliding. So you actually get more speed out of the 14.
Okay. All right. Well, tell us about the price. Is the price increasing at all for the new Outback, the 2020s with the breakaway?
Yeah. So every boat with breakaway fins is going to go up $50.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah. So it's really not bad at all. I mean, really, that's 2 sets of extra mass. That's
a pretty good deal, actually. I wish I would have known. Geez, now I got to get a 2020, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll win one at Paddlepalooza.
Yeah, we'll see.
We've got Falling Tide coming up. Do we know yet, Eric, Brock? Do we know yet what kind of kayaks we're giving away yet? Has that been decided?
Not yet. We definitely need to get together on that and figure out what the grand prizes are going to be.
Some 2020s, maybe some 360s, some breakaways.
360. That's
there
really
should be. We should have a couple of 360s down there, kind of showing them off, and might even be able to drop them in the water and let people try them out.
That'd be fantastic. I tell you, if we can get out there and at least let some people try them out, I think that'd be a great idea. So, do y'all have any like demo days coming up anytime soon?
So we're gonna wait until we get all of our new boats in and kind of do like a group demo. So we're doing it based on sign up. So all you have to do is call the store, give me a message, and we'll let you know when it's going to be, where it's going to be, and kind of have it a little more inclusive rather than just going out there and setting up and letting anybody try. So just reach out to me and I'll get you on the list, and then we'll kind of let you know when we go ahead and do it.
So I heard there was a rumor that Tyler had actually messaged you earlier about that about wanting to get on that list to go demo some Hobies.
I'm sure there's plenty of people. I don't mind letting them go in front of me.
I'm not gonna throw him under the bus for that one.
Well, there's another rumor that I know certain member of the club placed his order for the 360 like the day it was announced or something. He said he wanted his kind of tall Asian character.
Francis. Hopedale Francis.
Naming names. There was a kayak supplier customer privilege there, so I wasn't going to name any names. So, no. But tell us, what about any new colors coming out for the Outback or the Pro Anglers?
So nothing new with the Outback or PAs color wise, but when the 360 was originally announced, it was the blue camo, kind of like a blue, gray, and black swirl. And a lot of people were questioning, well, what if I want a high vis boat? I want to be seen out there. So at Paddle Sports Retailer, they actually released the Amazon green camo. So it's a little bit more visible color, and it's gotten a lot of good feedback.
The Amazon green color camo?
Yeah.
Sounds pretty cool. So, again, you're expecting these new shipments to come in towards the end of this week?
Yeah. So everything but the 360s towards the end of this week, and then 360s are set to ship, should be into September. So I'm hoping we have it right before Falling Tide.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay, great. Well, I know you're going to be down fishing IFA this weekend in Grand Isle.
I don't know if it's going to be in Grand Isle, but we'll see.
Well, the weigh-in's going to be in Grand Isle.
Yeah, Grand Isle.
In Grand Isle for the weigh-in.
Yeah, weigh-in will be in Grand Isle, but wind's looking a little nasty, so especially for Saturday.
You're thinking maybe Hopedale then?
That sounds like a good option.
That's an option that Francis definitely takes. So well, look, Brock, we appreciate having you on again and talking to us about these new changes to the kayaks. A lot of great things going on with the Hobie kayaks and everything. And look forward to having you back on soon. And certainly I look forward to seeing you down there on Thursday.
All right. Sounds good.
So look, guys, before we go to a commercial break, I just want to announce real quick, we had the Speck and Redfish Cup from Lafayette Club. And I did want to recognize the winners from that tournament. Talked to Justin Hebert earlier on today. And so heaviest flounder, Calcutta, Michael Carter. Leopard Red was Kevin Alexander. The kids division winner was Luke Robinson. Third place from the Speck and Redfish Cup was Luke Beslin. Second place, Andrew Halpert. And first place, Matt Carr from Pat Kayak Rentals took first place. Also, they had a raffle for a brand new PA-14. I think it was a 2019. Shane Ransonet, probably butchering that name, but Ransonet won the raffle for the new PA-14. So congratulations to Shane on that. We're going to go take a quick commercial break from our sponsor, Backpacker, and we'll be right back with Eric Stacey.
What's up, guys? It's Brock from the Backpacker. Just want to show y'all a couple of new rod holders that we just got in. They've been really hot lately. Right here we got the Co2, great for sight fishing. You stick your rod in there really quick, don't have to worry about it falling out. We also have the Omega Pro, which is a really good ride-the-bull rod holder. You can put your rod in there, lock it in, don't have to worry about it. And then the brand new AR tube from Yak Attack, which is a great rod for sight fishing. All you gotta do is set your rod in it. You don't have to worry about knocking it out of the boat.
And don't forget, be sure to visit us online at www.backpackeroutdoors.com or in one of our stores in Baton Rouge and Lafayette.
Hey guys, we're back with Eric Stacey. He is the tournament director for Bayou Coast Club. And Eric is going to be talking to us a little bit about Falling Tide. We've got that tournament coming up. What is it again, Eric? I know it's in October
19th.
October 19th. And this is a tournament that takes place, boundaries include basically south of Belle Chase all the way down to Venice, Louisiana. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And I know this is one of your favorite tournaments.
Actually, it's actually my favorite. I love Paddlepalooza, but I love fishing Highway 23.
It's a great place to fish. You know, it's probably my favorite as well. I always feel like I got a good fighting chance in this tournament. You know, everybody's got their spots in for Paddlepalooza, Leeville, and get my grandfather out of a boat. And I just love going down there. It's close. It always feels like home to me. So this is Bayou Coast, really their second big premier tournament of the year. And a lot of raffle prizes. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the tournament?
Well, I think we're in I forget how many years it's been going on, but to me, I love fishing in the fall. I mean, everybody loves fishing in the fall. We moved it up. It used to be a lot in like November, really cold, a lot of cold fronts coming through, messing things up after pre-fishing. So we moved it up again. We're in October. Hopefully the weather is going to be, the lows can be in the lower 60s, high and like about 72 would be perfect. But we don't want to talk about weather before a tournament, so we'll never do that. I just say we'd like to have that there. But really great tournament, really great fishery down there. We've seen redfish come in at 8.5, 9 pounds. So it's just go out there. There's a lot of flounder out there. Finding trout that time of year, it's in and out, but they can be found.
Yeah, and so this like Paddlepalooza, it's also the main categories. There's a slam, consisting of your redfish, your trout, your flounder, heavy weight fish, trout, flounder, and I think I'm internet. Sorry, guys. I'm at the Hampton Inn tonight.
Yeah, it feels like I'm watching a Chinese movie.
Yeah, sorry about that. Tell us about the categories for this tournament, Eric.
Of course, we have the slam, which is your redfish between 16 and 27, cannot touch 27 line. The mule trout, saddle flounder, typical Bayou Coast tournament.
Yeah, and slam categories obviously pay the big money, with the first two places generally being new kayaks, then the remaining places being paid out in cash. The side categories for the big redfish, trout, flounder, leopard red are all various prizes donated by sponsors. I think usually Bass Pro, Cabela's, Puglia's, some of those places have donated some really nice prizes in the past. Fish finders, all kinds of things for the tournament.
Yeah, great tournament, man. I can't say enough about this tournament. The whole thing is that, Paddlepalooza, we have, 200, 250 people. This one typically is in the 125 to the 130 range. And remember, we pay out prizes based on how many people are there. So I believe it is, Tally may be able to correct me on this, but you can go to BayouCoast.com, click the events button up at the top right-hand corner. It gives you all the rules of this tournament. We're getting ready to go live with it here and probably in the next 2 or 3 days. But the biggest thing about this tournament is that it's just a great event. The marina we're at is just awesome. I mean, it's covered. It's very nice. I just can't say enough about it.
A lot of good food.
Well, of course.
Y'all doing the pastelaya again Friday night?
Of course, the Little Rascals will be cooking up pasta live Friday night, and we'll be frying y'all's catch on Saturday.
That's fantastic. Now, registration we talked about goes up in the next probably the next couple of days. As far as bait that people can use this year, I know in the past a lot of years it's been artificial. Are y'all allowing live bait to be used this year? Live bait, dead bait?
Yes, just like Paddlepalooza, anything that's state legal is legal. In other words, you can use live bait, dead bait, artificial, anything that's legal within the state of Louisiana's laws is legal for this tournament.
Okay, and tell us why it's important. I know a lot of people, we're lazy and we wait till the last minute to sign up for tournaments. Why is it important, especially with Paddlepalooza and Fall and Tide, to sign up early for these tournaments?
Well, guys, this year is a little bit different. It's an election year. So today I talked to my T-shirt guy, and he says, Eric, I need a 3-week lead time on T-shirts. So we're about 6 weeks out, give or take. That means around October 1st or 2nd, I have to get my T-shirt order in. And this year in the captain's bags, we'll have a long sleeve performance shirts, which a lot of people love. And we'll have a pre-sale on short sleeve cotton poly shirts. But get registered early because it's really hard to guesstimate how many people are going to show up. And the biggest deal is that you pay for entry in this tournament, and we want to get you the proper. But when I'm guesstimating, oh, there goes my dogs. When I'm guesstimating T-shirts, I have to do it 3 weeks prior to the end of the tournament. Hang on a second. Oh, you gotta love dogs. Anyway,
And hotel internet.
yeah. But the thing is that once registration goes up, if y'all even have an inkling of going, just go, sign up and go. Because guessing the T-shirt sizes, I don't want you to give you a medium if you wear extra large, because it is what we do. I mean, it's so hard to guesstimate. But if you're going to go, sign up. Don't watch the weather. Don't just, if you're going to go or you think, just go.
And so the only way really to be guaranteed your shirt size is to sign up early on.
That's correct. By talking to the T-shirt guy today, he said, Eric, I need your order in 3 weeks prior to. That puts it around October 1st, October 2nd, because they're doing a lot of political signs, everything else. They're really, really busy. So we're going to get a registration up here in the next couple of days and sign up, get your T-shirt size in. We'll have a link to Tyler, get a link up to do the extra shirts. And if you want one of those extra cotton poly shirts, short sleeve, sign up for that, because I make the order on October 1st or 2nd. And I think we have it where registration goes up until, is it the 13th, Tyler? Is that correct?
I don't have the date in front of me. I think it's maybe 1 week before the event starts, and then you'll still allowed to sign up, but you'll have late fees.
Yeah, correct.
And then you'll be able to sign up all the way through the captain's meeting.
Yeah, and also another thing is signing up before the registration deadline, before it goes to late fees. All that money goes into the pot. So once we get to the cutoff, because we never know if you're gonna have 10 people show up and do late fees or 30 people. We can only guarantee that money going to the pot. All the late fees and all is just a different story. But just sign up early. That's all I ask. And so we can get a good head count, because there's a lot of money being spent on food and other things, tables, chairs, that's got to be coordinated. And the price, just be everything be coordinated. And it's really hard for the last minute people coming in, signing up. So if you think you want to go, sign up.
The earlier you sign up, the bigger your sometimes the bigger your captain's bag is going to be. So we have sponsors,
and the bigger payouts as well.
Yep, bigger payouts. And sponsors may say, hey, we're gonna donate 75 packs of lures to put in your captain's bags. Well, you know what? If we have 125 people sign up, the first 75 people that sign up are going to get those bags. We always start at the beginning of the row and stuff the bags, and we run out of product when we run out.
Yeah,
that is correct. It's basically first come, first serve. The earlier you sign up, the better your captain's bag is. We have guys in the past that gave really great baits, but they only give 25 of them. So the first 25 people got those baits. So it works like that. So
Yeah, and the weigh-in this year in the captain's meeting, that's all. It's at Cypress Cove Marina.
Yes, Cypress Cove
Yeah.
Marina, same place.
And so for people that are coming down that want to fish the tournament, I know Venice seems like a long ways, and we understand it. If you're coming in, you could fish that morning, and then try to go get a room at Cypress Cove. I think we have a discount. Is that right? Or we have a room rate? What's that?
Yeah. Yes, we have a room block. When you call to order your get your room, tell them you with BCKFC. They have a room block out. We have a special rate through them. It's probably $20 off or so per night of the room rate. But they may say that, oh, we're already booked that night. But no, it's say you with Bayou Coast, and that way, you with them. So we have a room, a group of rooms blocked off.
And look, guys, it's like I don't know. I think the room's like maybe $90 a night or something, and I think there's 2 beds in each room. You split it with another guy, it's $50, and it's well worth it because you can get out there. There's a restaurant down there if you want to eat. If you don't want seafood, we'll have a lot of food over there. There's a little store there you can buy stuff. But you get down there, you can stay for the weigh-in. You can drink a few beers. You don't have to worry about driving back that night. Yeah. We always, I know I do. I stay down there every time and just have an absolute blast because even after the weigh-in, we're going into the raffle. Everybody's having a lot of fun. We're joking around. It's you and 100 of your best friends sitting around drinking beer, and talking about things.
I remember the first time I'd fished Paddlepalooza, I did not get a room. So we stayed Saturday, and of course I had bought a bunch of raffle tickets, and so I had to stay through the end of the raffle, and we know that usually lasts pretty late into the evening, and by the time it was done, trying to drive home was just, not only was it miserable, but it was dangerous because I was falling asleep. And I've always tried to tell people who are coming to either Paddlepalooza or Fallen Tide that it's really a weekend-long event, and to get the full experience, you need to at least come down Friday through Sunday, I think, is the best way to experience it.
Yeah, and look, the captain's meeting's not mandatory. It's a lot of fun, but it's not mandatory like some other tournaments. You just need to know the rules. Be aware of the rules. You can come in if and look, we know a lot. A lot of people are tight with money, and that's okay. You could come in, fish Saturday, come and stay Saturday night. There are plenty of guys out there who are looking to split rooms. You could in one of those rooms, you could probably sleep 4 guys in those rooms pretty easily.
Yeah, actually bring a blow up mattress. Mm-hmm. Even in the smaller rooms, you have the 2 beds. You can fit a blow up mattress between both beds and a little twin, and you fit 4 people in there easily. But I will say this: if you come down pre-fishing, plan on maybe getting there Thursday evening, because rumor has it that there may be some food being cooked out there as usual.
Crab legs
Thursday night.
Crab legs?
No, not crab legs.
We had crab legs at Paddlepalooza.
Yeah, I know we did.
Big monster ass crab legs. Those things were huge.
Yeah, they came from Costco. They were
huge. You could only eat 1 leg and you were full.
Yeah, but no, I'm not doing crab legs this year. I'm gonna think of what to do. I may do like I did last year and do a pork stew, and then so on Friday when we had the pasta live, if you want to take a little of that pork stew, put on top of your pasta live.
Oh yeah, that was good. 100% white pork meat on top down on top of
always dark meat, man.
Oh, that's so good.
Sean, you're freaking me out.
It's good. I'm thinking of your white meat, your white pork meat. It's so good. So good. I had that because I took it because you had it and I poured it over the pasta live. I think you gave me it was fantastic. It was really good.
So,
really good.
Anyway, if y'all get there early and pre-fish, come down, Thursday through Saturday night. It's not that much money. It's fun. It's a good time, and you get to mingle with people, especially if you're new and you want to meet people to this. It's a great time to mingle with people because we get there early. I'm gonna be there Wednesday, bringing the trailers down. Me and Josh bringing them down. Get there, get set up. Then we'll actually pre-fish Thursday. Friday I get to pre-fish for a couple hours and come back and set up for the pasta live. But my Thursday is my pre-fish day and my fun day because the work begins on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, and Friday's your hangover day, and then Saturday is back to fishing.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
And Tyler, I understand that we might have a special guest appearance for the raffle that you're working on. Is that correct? Yeah.
No clue.
We were texting about it earlier.
Nope.
Certain someone lives down in Venice might be making an appearance. You met her? while back? No.
No idea.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. He's just being shy. So Tyler's working on our raffle girl to come up and make a guest appearance at the tournament. So we'll see about that.
By the way, I need to say something else. Todd brought up a point on the thing, is that on the forum, we will be having a volunteer list.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot do this without the volunteers. Trust me. We will have fish cleaners out there. They already hired, but we need people to volunteer, Saturday for cooks. We need prize runners. We need fish runners. We need people help setting up. There's a list out there. Please volunteer. You can make some great friends. When I started this club, approximately 8 years ago, I didn't know anybody, and I signed up to be a cook for Saturday night, and that's where I met a lot of my longtime friends, Josh, Darren. I mean, just a lot of people just volunteered, and you become, friends. Just like this past year, Dan, Robbell, he volunteered to cook on Saturday night, frying fish, had a blast. He's like,
no one knew who Dan was.
Yeah, nobody did, but you know what? He's volunteered already that he's going to do it. He said, I'm going to put me down on the volunteer list. I said, hold up, I got you to get going. But please volunteer. You will not be sorry. I mean, you make some great friends, and people that I met when I first started, I still fish with today because of that.
And if you want to make lifelong friends and everybody love you forever, you volunteer for Sunday morning fry cook clean out.
Yeah, the cleaning the fryers. That's where we really need you.
That's where we love those guys a lot.
And also, there's if you sign up to volunteer, we have volunteer raffle drawings just for volunteers.
Yeah.
And usually a headlamp, which I use in my work, I use all the time.
Those are good lamps.
Those are very good lamps, and just please sign up. That's all I ask.
I know your wife uses, I saw her when I was over at your house. She puts it on when she puts the lights out and puts the music on and gets that strobe going on that headlamp, and she starts dancing around. It's crazy. I said, Eric, what's Julie doing? Flashbacks to the 80s.
Yeah, that's okay. But you was when you're Xanadu sweaty.
Well, look, guys, we went over again. Eric, thanks a lot. We're going to obviously be having some big shows on for Falling Tide and going over launch locations and stuff as we get closer. Our next episode will be 2 weeks away, so that's going to be the 24th. I think that's right before Rumble on the River. So we're going to have a big episode about Rumble on the River and maybe talk some tactics, fishing locations, go over the rules again. Again, this is that if you haven't signed up yet, you need to sign up now. This will be your last chance to qualify for the championship in November, which is starting to get a lot of traction, starting to get a lot of phone calls. People really looking forward to that. Rumor has it there's going to be some cooking down there too come November and at Topwater. So it's going to be a real good time.
White meat versus dark meat.
Yeah, white meat versus dark meat gumbo. So we're having the gumbo cook-off, and it's a no-brainer. Who's going to win this one?
Yeah, me.
Tyler is pointing fingers at me. So obviously that's good. That's good, buddy. So look, guys, it's been a lot of fun. Enjoyed having and I really wanted to thank Craig. Stormy Storms coming on tonight. You can check him out at was Stormy Weathers, Tyler.
Stormy Outdoors.
Stormy Outdoors.
And Dakota Lithium Outdoors on Facebook.
Stormy Outdoors and Dakota Lithium Outdoors. Thanks again to Brock Miller with the Backpacker for coming on, talking to us a little bit, and spreading some more lies about the IFA, but really sharing some great things about the new Hobies coming out. Looking forward to those. And again, thanks, Eric, for coming on, talking to us about Fallen Tide. Certainly we'll be on talking about registration when it comes up. And we look forward to seeing you guys back here in 2 weeks.
All right, man. See you later.
Later.
All right, guys.